One's ready. Go!
Grind every day, yeah, we aim for the stars. Feet on the ground, but our heads are on Mars. Visions of glory, sweat on our skin. We craft our story, determined to win. We the titans, with hearts untamed. We face the giants in this battling game. Our dreams are loud, echoes of them remain. We stand as one, heading for the Hall of Fame. We chase the lights till the final whistle. Believe it when we say we never settle. We chase the lights till the final whistle. Believe it when we say we never settle. We did it, we did it, we did it.
Hey everyone. Before we hop into this next episode, we would love for you guys to check out the operatortrainingsummit.com. I'm not going to berate it. You guys have heard us talking about it, but the problem is that slots are filling up. Things you're going to miss out on your opportunity. And man, whatever, dude, it's investing in yourself, right? And making sure that you are doing the right things. Do you need this to pass the pipeline? No, you don't. You don't. Absolutely not. But would it help you out to be able to do things correctly instead of having to learn it, real time, and make sure that you spend this next 18 months, 12 months, 6 months, whatever it is, training appropriately? Yeah, it would. So invest in yourself. Slots are filling up, so you got to hurry. I'm closing it out on the 20th of February for the Alabama. We are at University of Alabama in March. 20 February is all you got. All right. operatortrainingsummit.com to register. And now
it's going to be wild.
It is going to be wild. Also, if you guys haven't heard of LHFA, it's an energy drink that...
I thought it was El Jeff.
El Jeff?
Yeah.
LHFA is an energy drink that's got multiple different flavors to it. It's got a killer peach in there, which is kind of among my favorite. But it's an alternative to all the other energy drinks. They are not a sponsor yet. However, if you guys want to berate them and harass them into becoming sponsors, happy to do that. You should tag them in this if you can, or however you would do that, and then say, "Hey, why don't you get yourself a promo code so that I can buy your stuff and get a discount?"
Yeah,
that's what
you guys know me. I love energy drinks. It's like 98% of my personality are energy drinks, and I like some of the ones that have been out there for a long time. But the fact of the matter is that they're owned by large corporations. And I'm a free market capitalist, and El Jefe, like the flavors look awesome. They're going to send me some stuff soon after y'all, bully them into becoming sponsors of the One's Ready podcast. But their designs on their cans are rad. The flavors look cool. And Jared's met the folks running the show over there. And they're good people. And if Jared says they're good people, I think they're good people. So let's branch out a little bit. Go over to El Jefe. You can find them on Instagram. They're not huge yet. And just blow up their DMs and be like, you guys need a code from One's Ready so I can order your stuff, send it to my door, and we can all talk about it together.
Yeah. I mean, look at these freaking... Whoop.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to go in there. Look at those. Those are good cans. Killer Peach, Phantom Lemonade, Diablo Punch, Baja Orange, Sinister Raz, Zuma Watermelon, and Wild Mango are all the flavors. Man, and they're good. So
you might be wondering, have you guys talked to them yet about sponsoring the podcast? The answer is no.
No.
We want you to do it. All right? I don't like confrontation. So I need you to confront them to be like, Trent needs more energy drinks. Get him to stop drinking the stuff that's owned by giant corporations, okay? You're doing it for me, and I appreciate it.
All right, now enjoy the episode where we talk about Fat Tony getting fired. So, hey everybody, welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. You're in the team room. Trent and I are happy to be with you. Before we get started though, man, I noticed that a lot of you guys aren't subscribed. About 50% of you aren't, and you're watching, and we really appreciate you guys watching. Just do me a favor. It's free. Just hit subscribe and it helps us out. All right. Now that I got that little admin note out of the way, news has dropped.
Wait. Jared, have you ever said anything that led to people talking about you from the Pentagon level all the way down when we were still active duty about you being fired?
No. I've also never been removed or fired from a position.
I mean, remember that one time when we called a few people fat and people like got in a
Yeah, I do
little
remember
hissy
that.
fit? Like, okay, so they didn't threaten to fire you, but there was like a little. People were looking into it. Who were the guys that you were calling fat at the time? Just to start off.
Well, I called General Milley, who was at the time he had already departed, so he was no longer the Joint Chief. And then I called General Bauerfeind, Fat Tony. I called him fat as well, which at the time he was the commander of AFSOC, and then left command of AFSOC a little early.
Totally
Don't
unexpected.
don't really fully know what that's about. Rumor has it that the
Yeah, we
commander
do.
of SOCOM. I mean, I don't have like email traffic, and I wasn't in the room, so this is allegedly secondhand, third-hand knowledge of what's happening.
Okay, but just to preface that real quick, when everybody, and I mean everybody that I've spoken to about this tells the exact same story, it's a little bit more than just, rumor.
Right. So the SOCOM commander wasn't really happy. General Fenton at the time wasn't really happy with the way that things were going in AFSOC. And this is kind of also on the heels of General Slife the Knife, who was the AFSOC commander prior to General Bauerfeind. So
Call him Jim the Shepherd now.
yeah, he's out shepherding stuff. So, they spent, he was the AFSOC commander for 3 years, 4 years, maybe something like that. And then Bauerfeind came in, it was, I think, 18 months, maybe.
It's pretty
It
short.
wasn't that long. It was
He
short.
might have the record for 2 shortest command tours back to back, because his tenure that we're about to talk about coming to an end is also one of the shortest in history.
Yeah. So after leaving of leaving as the commander of AFSOC, the Air Force, in its infinite wisdom, said instead of forcing somebody to retire because we don't have enough generals, let's send him to mold, infect, develop, whatever you want to call it, the future leaders of the Air Force for several generations.
Future managers of the Air Force.
Right. And it didn't go it didn't go that well there.
Yeah, a recent poll says like 74% of the people polled at the Air Force Academy, and this is like public stuff, were pretty unhappy with the way things have been going down at the Academy. And this is not news to us because obviously as the official and unofficial podcast for the United States Air Force, even though I talk about how the Academy, at least in its current form, should not exist, we still get a lot of messages from those folks. And to be fair, it's not the kid idiot's fault that they're there. The structure is what it is right now. And those, there's a lot of good people out there trying to get through school and do all that other stuff for really good reasons. But from like basically the moment he got there, we started receiving feedback about some of the stuff that this guy was doing.
Yeah. And it's because that people share screenshots with us. People will invite us into text chains, whether it's Telegram, Signal, Discord, whatever it is. People invite us into those things.
Yeah, Pete, we're still waiting. We want to get invited into those Signal chats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And some of the things that were, again, and I'll throw a legend out there, but when it's corroborated by multiple people with the same exact story, it's kind of, I mean, if you think that everybody gets together, everybody from a football team, the size of a football team, gets together and has the exact same story, and they're all making it up, that's difficult to do. But when an entire football team has the same exact story, where they are berated in their locker room by the superintendent, i.e. General Bauerfeind, while some of them are naked and all that kind of good stuff.
He's not your coach. He's not. It's not his space.
Nope.
He's a 50-something-year-old dude just wandering in there to berate you for who knows what while you're standing there, balls out.
Yeah, just wang out.
That's appropriate, bro.
Just looking at hogs, just out there. Like I mean, at what point you think this is like if I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna berate somebody because they need to get berated? Okay, well, hey guys, get dressed, shower up, get dressed, and then we'll talk. Not while a bunch of dudes are standing around naked. And I get it that some of that kind of stuff probably happens in basic training. Maybe it doesn't anymore. But getting yelled at in the shower, like that's kind of normal. As in, get the f out of the shower with an
Yeah.
extreme knife hand, that kind of stuff. But he's not sitting around berating every single one of them as they're naked.
They're like, my eyes are up here, bro. What are you doing?
Why you keep looking down?
No, that's the thing, though, too. Like, if it happened in basic training back in the, I think we got yelled at in the shower. It makes you uncomfortable. It gets you out of your comfort zone. And there are certain points at cadre where you stick your head into the bathroom and unleash a tirade of cuss words, getting them to hurry up and all that other stuff. But he's not. He's not cadre. He's not an MTI. He's not their coach. He is, he's so far removed. He is the lead, the highest ranking person at the academy. And he's going in there to do that. It's just, I don't understand the thought process that went through this chucklehead's head before he went in there to do that, and what he thought was going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and at the same time, I'm sure that there's some people going, "Well, what do you mean? He's the superintendent. He can do whatever he wants like that." No, even at a squadron level where it's a you could say a major that happens to be in command, or even more normally a lieutenant colonel, an 05 is a squadron commander. Even that squadron commander shouldn't be berating people. That is not in his duty description at all. That is the job of someone else.
Well, and why would you go to the players? Like, there's so many layers in between you and the players that you could fix. Like, it just seems like it's such a weak man move. And anytime you see something like this happen, right, where someone of a very high rank goes after like an airman or a lieutenant or something like that directly, it's like, maybe you should crush their lead, like everybody on the chain, like all the way down first, because otherwise, what does the chain exist for? I'm not saying that there's not a place for like corrections now and then, but you're not fixing the problem by going to the people at the very bottom and yelling at them.
Yeah.
Whatever problem he was trying to fix, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows?
So according to the article, and this was, I may give credit where credit's due, Air and Space Forces magazine published an article that talking about the academies getting an overhaul. Both the superintendent and the commandant are retiring later this year, and a new dean of the facility is set to take up charge of the instructors until they find an appropriate commandant and superintendent. The successors of the two top jobs at the academy have not been formally announced, but there's not that many that can actually go in there, so they have an idea of who it could be. Not that I know who it is.
I got an idea. Like, I only got like 4 jobs right now. I can take on one. Like, I don't think running the academy would be that hard. I don't think so.
I mean, I wouldn't mind moving to Colorado Springs. I'd move to Colorado Springs.
We could run it as a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What better way to be open and honest? Like, what better way to provide transparency than to hear about what the academy is doing every single week? And we'll tell you why we fire people. It'll be fun.
Yeah, other than just, hey, loss of
confidence.
Yeah, loss of confidence.
First of all, this person has been not doing anything for 15 years, so they gone. Like, I don't care if you're a tenured professor, or if you're a lieutenant colonel, or if you're a chief master sergeant, got to pull your weight, or you're out of my organization. Yeah. Man, it's a good thing I'm not in charge of things, because the Napoleonic stuff happens real quick.
And that's one example of things that he did at the academy. And to give you an idea what kind, and to be honest, Aaron should be here for this because he is more entrenched in these networks than you or me are, or at least me anyway.
He cares a lot more, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, this another little vignette to tell you what kind of dude this is when you are the commander of AFSOC or any kind of air combat command or anything like that, like you can, and you're a pilot, you can actually go and fly any of the aircraft, as in you can't just go solo and fly. Like if you're qualified in an A-10, you can't go on your own and get an F-15 and just fly it. That's not what I'm talking about. What I mean is you can be an A-10 pilot and then you could hop in the back seat of a B-1. You know, B-1's got four positions in it.
Okay.
And then that pilot in flight could hop out and that commander could hop into the pilot seat and fly it. And that's perfectly fine. Same with the C-130, C-17. Like they
They
are
work with the new
allowed.
F-15, right? Because the EXs, because they're going to be two-seaters.
One seater,
Yeah.
two-seater. So
It's a throwback. I can't let it go.
yeah. So that is authorized. That's not like some uncommon practice or anything. Like it happens all the time. And right on. I'm not opposed to it. Right. It's just that's a thing. So Bauerfeind was an MC-130 guy, if I remember right.
Yep.
And which honestly would make sense because he is fat, but he's also tall. And I get it, everybody's tall to me, but like he is a big dude. So I can't imagine him trying to get in an F-16 cockpit or something like that. So C-130 makes sense. So he was out flying with one of his CV-22 crews, and they were going to go do a landing, and he was, you know, they have CRM, crew resource management, where they're all talking. So it's not just the pilot's discretion or the co-pilot's discretion. It's the entire crew. You get the special mission aviators in the back that also have a vote. So they were coming in to land in a forested area, and they were saying, "Hey, this isn't good," kind of thing. The commander landed landed the 22 anyway, clipped a tree, and then once they got back, decided to Q3 the entire crew.
Bro, pull my school
Q3
bus around. I got some people to run over. You know what I mean? Pull the general school bus around.
Yeah. So in for the folks that are out there that don't know, a Q3 means like it disqualifies you from flying until you can basically do retraining and come back and then prove that you're good to go.
I guarantee the special mission aviator guy who was like leaning out the side was like, I told them not to land, dude. I'm looking at it. Everybody's saying don't land. And he's like, no, land. So we get in trouble?
Yeah. 20 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet. No.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What did I do? I'm in the back. What am I? Don't disqual me.
So yeah, so I'm happy for the academy. I'm happy for the cadets. You guys are still pieces of shit, but whatever, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not their fault.
You're not human.
No, they're cadets. They don't have souls.
But so this is a good thing, and this also talks about other historical figures that have filled the role of being either the superintendent or the commandant, and these are some pretty big names. General Robin Olds, pretty big name.
I mean, he was probably okay at it.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming.
Mark Welsh.
Okay.
Who was CSAF 3 times ago. And then
did you know when you meet like too many people and you're like, I'm pretty sure like, did I ever shake that dude's hand? I don't know. It's hard to say.
You talking about Welsh specifically?
Yeah, because I don't have like real bad feelings about Welsh, but whatever.
All of my interactions were positive with him. You know, I know he's got that. There's a little bit of smoke out there at University of Texas.
That's what it was.
Like he's like a board member out there, and I can't remember what it was.
It was
like some DEI stuff or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
They were teaching stuff that they weren't supposed to be teaching per Texas law and getting Texas funding. Yada yada yada.
Yeah. I know Aaron definitely knows more about it than I do, but I just remember something about that because I think we actually brought it up on here.
Yeah, we covered it. Go after you hit the subscribe button, go back.
Yeah. So that's the latest news with that. I'm sure, and we will talk with Aaron after this to maybe, I know he's got screenshots, so maybe he'll actually just show the screenshots.
Let's talk about why he got fired from the AFSOC command too. The rumors, right? That everybody heard, that everybody says are the same thing. Because I think this is important. The dude. So there was a time, even when under the last administration, right, when everybody's like, we got to focus on being warfighters again, guys. Like all this, there was so much DEI push and all this other stuff that was happening for so long that obviously, if you listen to the podcast, you know we weren't fans of. But kind of like the last year and a half of the last administration, they're like, hey, like, but for real, we got to be warfighters again. Forget all, like this is not the focus anymore. We're going to be warfighters. And so towards the end of that, when everybody, the SOCOM commander kind of meets with all of the heads of all the, different branches, right? Yeah, MARSOC, AFSOC, USAFA, all that kind of stuff. So everybody's kind of on the same sheet of music, and it's SOCOM. So like the SOCOM commander doesn't want to hear about your DEI initiatives. So the Navy gets up there. They're like, we're making the best SEALs ever. They're going to be the most lethal, blah, blah, blah. Everybody says the same stuff, right? USAC is on there, like our ops are blacker than your ops. And then the Air Force comes up, and all he talks about are the DEI initiatives, the full female flight crews, all the other stuff, which it is what it is, but like that's all he talked about. So this is what everybody heard, and Peaches, correct me if I'm wrong. And that's when Fenton was like, what are you doing here, bro? Like, you come here and this is what you want to talk to me about, not lethality, not the future operating environment that we have to prepare for. None of that stuff was covered. And that was when he got the
wrong time, wrong place, my man. Just didn't pay attention to what the environment was.
So as I was thinking about this episode this morning, I was wondering, how do you get a person like Fat Tony? Like, how does, because we've talked about Jim's life before as well. And Jim was Jim, hope you're doing well. I saw you made the board of some satellite company. I'm sure they're overpaying you to be he has 35 years of incredible experience in the Air Force, and he's going to help us with their satellites. But Jim, glad you're not shepherding anymore and you're actually doing something. Congratulations. But like when I think about these guys, I'm like, how do you get here? How does a person like Tony show up at AFSOC and totally misread the situation and think that he's right no matter what? How does this dude show up to the academy that he graduated from and have the arrogance to believe that his way is the right way, no matter what everybody else is saying? The denial of all input from everybody else, the rest of his staff, everybody, the donors, obviously. Like, you piss off the football team, you're pissing off a whole bunch of people that are donating money to the school. It's that's how NCAA schools work. And if you look at his bio, though, it's like this dude, I think, was a very talented and smart person in the beginning. Like, he was like a distinguished graduate from everything in the beginning. You're used to being the smartest guy in the room. But then you put a guy like that into AFSOC for a lot of years. And every time he comes back to AFSOC, he's an MC-130 guy. And I think during GWAT, he was one of the guys that just got tired of enlisted beret wearers just being like, no, dude, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. No, dude. Like the MC-130, while it does some pretty rad stuff, not getting any recognition. I think that kind of stuff just wears on him. And so when he gets into that position of authority, he was just like, I'm not listening to anybody because all those guys are idiots.
That's
my theory.
I mean, the MC-130s did a lot of work in Iraq and Afghanistan and on continent of Africa. But if taking special tactics away from it, the other people that got the most recognition within AFSOC was the AC-130.
Yeah.
And then probably U-28 after that.
Yeah. But like, you're in soft, dude, and you have like the secret squirrel plane with capabilities we can't talk about. And don't touch this stuff. We can't have guys jumping out of this plane. Don't touch the equipment, guys. Like, we get it. MC-130s are super rad. You guys did secret squirrel missions, whatever. It's cool, but like, I don't know. It's just, it seems like his ego was pretty fragile there for like the last 20 years of his career, and just being around guys like Peaches probably didn't help,
Why me?
just because you don't, like just the general, the special tactics guys that are roaming all over, getting credit for stuff, the AC-130 folks, and everybody kind of has like the same mentality, right? Like between the AC-130 folks and all the special tactics guys, like, no one's not going to get a beer when we all go to the bar together.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a whole lot of love. Everybody's close to the action. Everybody has like similar stories and there's a lot of mutual respect there. And then the MC-130 guys over there, and it's like, man, we're, it's all first names over on our side. And he's probably one of those guys that thinks rank actually means something. And he probably just got told to, FO one too many times or not invited to the party. You know what I mean? Like,
don't go fraternizing.
Yeah. And someone was like, hey, fatty, how about you go run or something, like, just, yeah. That environment, the AFSOC environment, especially like peak GWAT, right? When all the, we talk about helicopter pilots, A-10 pilots, AC-130 folks, that entire crew, and then the guys actually on the ground, like how tight all that is and how much we all love you. Like, if I meet an A-10 pilot in an airport, he's like, yeah, I flew A-10s. It's like, dude, what do you want? I'll give you whatever you want. Like, I love you guys. But he probably just felt like he was left out in the cold after everything that he'd accomplished in his career, I'm just assuming he had a little bit of fragile ego.
Well, I mean, we already know that general officers have a hell of an ego. Like they do. And you see it, I would never go into detail about what I've seen, the email traffic I've seen, and the conversations that I've overheard because I've been in the same room with, because it doesn't buy me anything. But man, you would think that all these GOs, general officers, would not everybody gets along, obviously, but not be so petty about things. But they are so petty. Not all of them, right?
Not talking about many. Many, we loved you.
Yeah, I mean,
we need you back.
And to be clear, there's some really good ones. And hey, guess what? A lot of the 06s that have been fantastic and then are continue on are about to put on a star that that I've worked with and then I respect. And guys,
dude, your retirement ceremony, I didn't even know he had a star. It was so confusing to me when he put his uniform on. He's still the same exact person. You know what I mean? Like, look, guys, it's like anything else. We're going to complain about like the worst of the worst. It just seems like the percentage of GOs that I would rather not interact with ever again, like on a personal level, is a little bit higher than some of the other ranks.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I don't know if it's something happens or they're tired. By that time they're tired. I mean, you think about the one star that was at my retirement. He's been in, he was in as long as I was, and he still is. And then he had academy time before that. Yeah. So, and he gets tired, man. And people have things that go on in their lives and that kind of stuff that causes stress and all that kind of stuff. But man, you can't bring that to work. One, you can't take that out on other people, and you shouldn't let it change who you are. So yeah, we're taking this wide sweeping, okay, general officers, or at least I am. Obviously,
it's like when we talk about chiefs, right? I've met some chiefs that are my favorite humans on the planet. But when you want to talk about E9s, you're going to have a lot to say. You know what I mean?
So maybe that's what, instead of saying general officers, maybe it's just go, hey, 07 or an 06 or 08, 09, 010,
Yeah, because that's what they are.
Giving them that kind of respect.
Yeah, because it's just like the chief thing. It's there's different categories of people, and obviously, like we're humans. You look at your Instagram feed or any of your social medias, it's gonna, anytime that you spend any time looking at anything negative, it's going to bombard you with that because of human nature. So it's obviously not everybody, but when it goes poorly, and this is the thing though, is like, because of that level of responsibility and authority that they hold, the influence that they can have to absolutely decimate an organization, whether I care about that organization or not. AFSOC, obviously, I care a lot about. The academy, but still, like those are humans that you're affecting. There are people that have spent a lot of time. Those cadets, some of those cadets have been working to get to the academy like since junior high or earlier, right? There's like family things, and they work their butts off to get the scholarship and to get some congressperson to say that this is the type of person we want up there. Not all of them are just riding on the coattails of their parents and all that other stuff. Some of them actually work hard to get there. So it's not their fault. And for this guy to come in and just do what he does and just shake everything up, and it makes some really big. And there's a lot of like. So I know some things about some stuff that I can't talk about really, but like his ideas of what the academy should be as a like trying to make it kind of like an operational unit. And saying that we can do everything ourselves, and saying we don't need funding and support from other entities that you fall under technically, and trying to change everything for no good reason. It is not helpful at all.
No, especially when that command isn't asking for it. The service isn't asking for it.
Nobody asked for it. This is the problem with the certain things that Tony or Slife would do, right? Like they'd just be like, who's asking for this, bro? Nobody? I mean, this is a problem with certain ST-isms as well. It's like, who asked for this? It's like, nobody. It's like, well, then
why
what are we doing? Yeah.
Well, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. How about we just call your boys at SOCOM and be like, what do you got? Where are the gaps, guys? Is there anything more that you think that we should be doing? Like,
Yeah. Well, why?
Anyway.
Why? So as we close this out, I'm curious. You don't hear about this kind of stuff in the Marines, or you don't hear about it that much in the Army. You do hear about it in the Navy. There's been quite a few admirals shit-canned.
Yeah.
Unless the Army and the Marines just do a better job of keeping it under wraps. I don't know.
Who runs the Army?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the main focus of the Army? So like, who's gonna make who's gonna end up in like your sergeant major of the Army positions, or your 4-star general types, or your GOs?
Oh, well, they're usually soft dudes or infantry.
Right. And so like as an infantry officer, so it's a lot more like us. You have to go through all that stuff. You have to go through Ranger school, or if you're on the soft side, all those officers have to go through Ranger school. They have to spend a lot of time with the boys. They have to spend time in the dirt with them, right? Same thing with the Marine Corps. If you didn't spend time in the Marine Corps as like an infantry officer, which is like their bread and butter, it's what they do. The thing is, in the Air Force and the Navy, there's a disconnect between the people in charge and having very little understanding about what most people in their force experience. I'm not saying that they're ignorant to the jobs necessarily, but like the experience is not there to back them up. But I'm not saying that's like a going to fix everything, because obviously Millie, turned into a giant POS, towards the end of his career. But like that dude still had to go through, SFAS, Ranger School, all the other things that he did as a younger person to make that rank. So I think there's no crossover between, like if I look at Bauerfeind's career and I look at our careers, right? Like where's the crossover? Same command, but totally different.
Yeah, that's true. And to be fair, Millie wasn't relieved, wasn't fired. He retired. Like after doing, he seemed like he was in there for a long time. So I guess he was in there for 4 years. If I'm guessing, it seemed like a very long time.
It felt like a long time. It was awful.
Yeah, and I'm sure that at some point he was a fucking badass. Like I'm sure
he's probably a monster.
Yeah.
He looks like if he worked out, he'd be an absolute unit. Like I'm sure when he was a young lieutenant, he was a monster.
Yeah,
it's just.
To be clear, do I expect some 4-star general to be some fit PT specimen? No.
Yes. Oh wait, no.
Not a specimen. I don't need him to be a monster. But like, if you're going to uphold standards, you also still need to be able to pass PT tests, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like McRaven, right? Like, and Fenton, all these, like the SOCOM. Like, you can't lead out SOCOM and be a fatty. At least, maybe I at least gravitate towards the guys that look like they can still do the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least once. Like maybe not going out every night, but if you threw them into a mission and they had to do it one more time, they'd probably still perform.
Yeah. I mean, so I couldn't remember his name, but it was Admiral Olson. He was the commander of SOCOM prior to McRaven. That dude, he showed up to Mildenhall one day and was like, our time, so this for the audience, it is if one of these 4-star generals or whatever, so it could be a 1-star, doesn't matter. But a distinguished visitor visits the base. There's usually an itinerary for 1 or 2 days, however long they're going to be there, and they try and hit as many units as they possibly can, and they try and also align it with who is kind of like-minded, or what is something they've never seen that they don't know that we want to highlight, and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of gaming into it. So, but guess what? He wanted to come and he wanted a PT with somebody, and he comes to Millhall, so we PTs with 321st. And I remember it was Eric Ray was the commander at the time, and we go out for a run, and 4-star Admiral Olson was fast.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a runner, and that dude, we went out for a formation run that turned into a selection run.
Yeah.
He wanted to put on a clinic, and he did, because a lot of us boys were not ready for sustained 6-minute miles. Dude,
what a dick!
I kept up for as long as I could, and then I started. Luckily, I didn't fall back too far, but it was, and everybody's like, and obviously, I'm sure Eric Ray as the commander is just like, oh God, I'm going to get fired. Oh my God. I'm assuming he was like that.
Yeah.
Because you're like, dude, but the great thing is he even said, he goes, dude, he goes, I do this all the time. He goes, I do it with the SEAL teams. I do it with the ODAs. Like I show up, and he goes, because I run, I do tries and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just go out there and I just crush souls to go, yeah, man, the old man's got it still. What's up?
It's just such a great way to introduce yourself too. Like, yeah, guys, like I'm still here with you. I still work out. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not, he's not upset. He knows a sustained 6-minute mile is nowhere near like the actual standard for operational team, right? So, but you got to respect that, right? As a young dude, it's like, dang, at least my leadership at SOCOM, like they're still getting after it.
Yep. So that was a fun little interaction.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure if it was like, you want to come to the weight room, and he was probably like, no,
I'm good, actually.
Yeah. See, I got this itinerary and I got to go, because he knows he's not going to throw weights like the rest of the guys.
No. End up being like well, I'm sure he'd be better than Mondami trying to bench press 135 pounds.
It's like, bro, you've never been in a gym, have you? Like, no. It's so sad.
Obviously not. All right. So I'm curious, and this is going to be more of a discussion post, because I don't know how I feel about this. And let me read the headline first. And it's the 2 National Guard troops that were in DC are set to receive Purple Hearts.
Okay.
So Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, who was killed, and then Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, who was severely wounded.
All right.
So this is, to qualify for a Purple Heart, a service member must, and I'm just going to read this out. A member of the U.S. Armed Forces serving under competent authority after April 5th, 1917, has been wounded or killed or died by wounds received in one of the following circumstances: in action against the enemy of the United States, in action with an opposing armed force of a foreign country in which the U.S. Armed Forces are or have been engaged, as a result of the act of such enemy or opposing armed force. I'm sorry that this is written like this. It's really weird, but I'm just like, that's the way the military does things.
Yeah.
Result of friendly fire. Is that new? I don't remember there being a friendly fire. That might be new.
Maybe after old Pat,
So maybe maybe I'm just going off of old old criterion. So I'm like, okay, well, as a result of international terrorist attack. Okay, well that's where it is. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, enemies against the United States or terrorists, like it's like if you're in uniform or you're on orders as a guard person, you get wounded or killed.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. If it's not just a strictly civilian thing, if it's like politically motivated or any of that other stuff, like I think that's pretty automatic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it used to be that you had to be engaged in combat operations overseas, wounded by the enemy.
Well, we used to say to get a Bronze Star, it had to be in a combat zone and combat related, but
yeah,
that kind of went out the window.
Yeah, for sure. And it used to be that you didn't have to be treated in order to get a Bronze Star or a Purple Heart. Like you could come back and go like, yeah, here's the shrapnel, here's the wound. I stayed out in the field and freaking, continue to do the mission. But now that criteria has changed, and you had to have been treated by a medical professional.
Okay,
so you can't stay out in the field.
You can't just show a scar where like your mole was removed when you were 6 years old and be like, totally got hit by shrapnel, bro.
So okay, well, that's kind of a moot point then. I should have. Anyway, the whole thing was to see what you thought about it, and do you think that they would deserve it? But they obviously do, and that kind of stuff. So right on.
I mean, I think with this administration, they want to draw those lines, right? For better, or for worse, the whole we're at war with a certain type of person, and it's not necessarily just a country. These are enemies of the United States, and I think it's a message from the administration as much as it is a recognition for those folks.
Yeah. I mean, because what they did was, or what happened to them was terrible and should have never happened. And
I did not read that entire story. What was that? I'm aware of it in a peripheral way.
This was out in DC. Hold on, because I closed the link. But it was when National Guard's out in DC, and he was an Afghan refugee, I believe.
That's right. Okay.
Came around the corner and shot them. And that was that one picture, which is a pretty wild picture. I wonder if I can find it. DC National Guard running from attacker, maybe.
Mm.
And running from sounds really bad, but what he was doing was, I've got the picture up here. He was repositioning, looked like he was. Let's see here.
Getting some cover or concealment or something.
It looks so. There's the attacker right there. There, him. You could tell he either had a malfunction or something. You could tell that it looks like he's about to rack the slide.
Yeah.
So instead of squaring up to this dude while he's trying to manipulate his weapon, he's trying to build some distance between him and the attacker so that he can fix whatever's going on with his weapon to then engage. So running away is even though that's what I searched for. I'm not saying he was running away. He was repositioning.
Did they ever change? I remember being there were like some I don't want to say like regular army, but like some regular army folks downrange, and they wouldn't have a round chambered in their pistol. So I'm wondering if they're operating under like the same stupid conditions.
That's a good point. Would it surprise you? Because they were doing that downrange for sure. They would carry their weapon around, but not have
crazy. Like guys out at like the FOB, rolling out on missions that wouldn't chamber around in their pistol, and it's like, bro, like if you need your pistol, what are you doing? Like I'm rolling, like especially when we saw the Berettas, it's on fire, chambered, in my holster.
It is ready.
If I need it, I gotta go.
Yeah, because most people don't know how to manipulate their weapon quick enough and effectively enough to be able to go, okay, some shit's going down. Let me draw my weapon from my holster, rack it, and then put in work.
That's just too many steps.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
especially if you just got to save your life. And some of them were wearing the shoulder holsters, you know?
Oh, geez, yeah. So that you can flag everybody as you pull your holster out, and then you have to stop it at the right spot instead of just coming up on something.
Yeah.
It's so silly. Dude, the number of like pilots I'd see overseas and the number of Air Force people with shoulder holsters was just like, I
That was
get
a
it.
lot.
Like, because you're not going to have to use it probably, but that is ineffective at best.
Yeah. It's not great.
But if anybody knows if those guard folks are allowed to roll around with a chambered or not, let us know. Because if that's the problem, if they're not allowed to roll around with a round chambered, and it's literally like costing people their lives or putting them in more danger than they need to be, please, I would love to know that so that we can yell at some Army folks, some Army Guard folks, and be like, that's the dumbest thing. Like, if you're worried about it, get your folks more training, you know?
Yeah.
Because if that thing clears holster, it should be ready to go. It has to be ready to go.
Yeah. The only difference is, I would say, is that if you happen to do like what I do, like I use the and I don't have my pistol in here right now, but like the Glock that I have on the slide, you can get it. It's just the little belt clip. It's a little clip that goes along the slide, and so the Glocks have no safety. And if you're going to put that like in your crotch kind of thing and wear that, that is the time that you do not, for me, you do not put a round in the chamber. Last thing you want to do is shoot your junk off as you're just trying to put your pistol in your belt loop, right?
There's a lot of talk about dicks on this episode.
There is a lot about hogs.
Jeez, Tony.
Yeah.
I obviously I like the Glock, but like I do like to have like a minimalist, at the very least, trigger cover, because you can get those really skinny ones. At least covers the trigger, and then you can clip it in.
Yeah.
But I don't want that trigger just out there if I have a round chambered just in the wind.
No. Nope.
Yeah.
But I'm also confident enough in my ability to draw, manipulate weapon, and put rounds downrange. So
yeah. So I mean, so either this is there's a few different things. I just, is it a poorly maintained weapon? Was he not trained very well on it? Like, because obviously he got the pistol out when the guy was right there. It's like asking someone to pull it out in the worst situation they've ever been on and rack it, or to have it not go bang, or all this other stuff. Like, it's silly. That's why, like, we always talk about with the Berettas. It's like, guys, it's in a weird kind of position. We don't train to click it on and off safety all the time. If you got to pull your pistol, you got to do it. Obviously, with the rifles, it's a little bit different. Lots of training on the safety.
Mm-hmm.
And like Aaron always says, there's nothing louder than a dude that clicks off a safe with his M4 when he's not supposed to.
Dude, it's so distinct. Everybody's like, "What?
Whoa, hey, buddy!"
It's either that or they're putting it back on safe,
and way late.
It way late, and you're like, "What? Did you?" Ooh,
yeah. And it's not always fun. I don't have like long fingers, so I'm assuming you don't have. Like, sometimes you have to move it around a little bit to.
It's a little guy.
Yeah, it's not always the easiest thing to reach up there and click it back onto safe, but you got to do it.
Yeah, have to. So I did just look because for the like video of the shooter or the event. So apparently there's footage of it. Let's see. Because
oh goody,
I have not seen this.
Why is Amazon paying me $60,000
Whoa, Amazon is paying you
$63,000 a month? Well,
Sorry,
I didn't
guys.
make this kind of money. So
Yep.
A new footage has emerged, capturing the exact moment a National Guardsman opened fire on an Afghan national who ambushed 2 U.S. service members just a few blocks from the White House. The suspect, Rahmanullah Lakinwal, is seen advancing with a handgun, firing multiple rounds at guardsmen on Thanksgiving Eve in Washington, D.C. The sequence, first obtained by the Wall Street Journal, shows one guardsman sprinting for cover, frantically reloading under fire, moments before both troops, 20-year-old Specialist Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, collapse on the pavement. U.S. security officials have confirmed one guard member managed to return fire, creating the split-second opening that allowed troops to rush in and pin the gunman to the ground. But the tragedy was already irreversible. Specialist Beckstrom, a young soldier with her entire life ahead of her, died on the scene, while Staff Sergeant Wolf, serving with the 167th, deliberate, targeted, and deeply alarming.
Two national
I don't want to hear from that.
Yada, yada, yada.
I don't want to hear all your
following
political bullshit.
Yeah.
I was hoping that there was actually video of it because I didn't see.
welcome.
Nah, looks like just some footage or some photos. But that's pretty crappy.
Yeah, I think that's a good point though. Is are they keeping rounds in their chamber or and they're ready to go? Now, obviously, I know that they don't have the level of training that others do in terms of weapons and that kind of stuff because a lot of them don't. They just don't come from those career fields. But man, don't do that. Or don't do not having a round in the chamber.
No,
It's not a good TTP.
So yeah, please, somebody, if you're Army Guard, all that other stuff, if you know anything about that situation, let us know if that's what it is or if it's something else and we're just misreading the situation. It's just, we have experience with, Army folks that wouldn't chamber rounds their pistol, which was very confusing. Obviously not all the Green Berets, everybody else, everybody's rolling around locked and loaded, but ready to go. But it was just weird. You have like your random Army guys attachments. They're like, no, I'm not going to chamber a round. That's dangerous. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro?
We're going to release this tomorrow, Monday. Today is Sunday.
Happy Super Bowl sports
ball.
Enjoy watching Green Day, the middle-aged or post-middle-aged guys singing punk rock music about how you should support the system. Like they're going to.
Wait a minute.
I don't understand.
They used the anti-system.
Right, but now it's so confusing to me.
Right? Well,
is it even punk rock anymore? If they're for like the big corporations and
yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird how they've swapped, huh? And not just them. There's others too that have swapped, like anti-fascism back in the day.
I don't know what that means.
And then now it's still anti-fascism, but what they want to do is absolutely fascist shit.
Well, they're like, well, fascism and socialism and communism, those are all very different things. It's like, no, not really.
But I mean, it's working well in New York now.
Yeah, prices are up.
Yeah.
This is a good thing. I think it's about
Lots
time
of
people start
crash.
pulling their weight. Yeah,
Lots of crash on the streets. I mean, hey, whatever.
it's weird that that dude promised stuff that he has no authority over, and wasn't able to pull it off. Didn't even try to pull it off and start begging for money as soon as he was elected to fix things. And if he doesn't get that money, what do you think is going to happen with the taxes in New York, which are already just criminal?
So going back to the Super Bowl, though, I'm hoping that they do advertise the flyover, though. It looks like it's going to be decent. Now, I know apparently F-22s had to pull out for operations and stuff like that, so they couldn't do it, which is kind of wild because there's plenty of F-22s.
Oh, yeah, guys, where are you going? Where are you going? Huh?
But apparently it's supposed to be a mixed Air Force and Navy flight in a Delta formation being led by a B-1, which is going to be flanked by fighters. And then there's going to be another B-1 in the tail with supposedly full afterburners on to give a nice little show and noise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we looked robust. That's a lot of birds that are supposed to fly over.
Yeah. B-1s, F-15 Charlies, F-18s, F-35s. Yeah.
Well, as long as the F-35s don't burst into flames before takeoff, they will be there.
Yeah, because it's Navy F-35, so. Navy and line.
I don't want to keep... I think most of the F-35 issues have been remedied by now, right? Probably just to the tune of billions of dollars to fix what was wrong with them.
Well, me.
Jared's like, I have a lot of inside information that I can't share. Let me figure out a way to say this.
I just got to figure out which say what I can't say. What I can say is those kind of issues that you're talking about have been mostly fixed. There's still, what's weird is there's still a lot of AI within the cockpit that if there are certain parameters that are hit, that will automatically eject the pilot, which
Oh
is
no.
what happened recently, like with I say recently, but it's like what happened with the one that was hovering, right? It was doing its vertical landing or takeoff. I can't remember which one it was doing, but the sensor sensed that it was out of control and ejected the pilot, 20 feet above the ground. So that's not great. There was
That
another
pilot's
one.
shorter. No.
Yeah, definitely. There was another one off in North Carolina that the system was like, oh, I'm out of parameters. And he just auto ejected the pilot. And then it continued to fly for like another 150 miles into the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, we're better now. I just wanted to get rid of old boy back
that
there.
guy was dead weight, man. Got to get rid of him.
See how fast I am? I'm so fast now.
So that's kind of like, so I did it, I do the daily drops and I'm bringing them back. I stopped or I didn't do them for a while just because I got so overwhelmed with work. So now I'm like really trying to force myself to do them. But it was, one of them was talking about an AI initiative that is going to be placed into more cockpits and that kind of stuff to aid the pilot in decision making and stuff like that. And so I made a comment about, I don't know that many pilots that would want AI. Like there's got to be hey, I am overriding. I don't care what the system says. I don't care what, because pilot is the one that, on that stick or on that yoke or in the pedals is feeling things and he's got the reality of things. Now, are there times where you get spatial disorientation or spatiality and it's nighttime and you can't figure out? That would be a time where you're like, fucking AI, help me, like save me kind of thing, but there's got to be some kind of override and maybe in certain scenarios or flight functions, you would want it to take over, and others like you don't ever touch this flight function. And so I said that, and then I got a call 30 minutes later from a pilot that had listened to it, and he's like, yeah, man, I agree with you. And he starts going into all these other things that I wouldn't, obviously not being a pilot, didn't even think of. And he's like, yeah, this. He goes, it's got goods, it's got bads. And then, I was like, that's some good insight, man.
Well, in my mind, and obviously being way removed from the situation, like every pilot needs to kind of have their own trained AI co-pilot. You know what I mean? Like it should be kind of personalized. Like it should go into the sim with them, like a general AI with general rules for every single bird. And I obviously this is probably impossible, but it's like when I get into the bird, I plug in my thing, and it's like my buddy's there with me. Like we've flown all the sims together. We've flown every mission together. Like before I was even a pilot, like I was assigned this thing to like. There's obviously got to be like some left and right limits, but like this is what it does, and it is my co-pilot. And it's kind of personalized, right? Like if you use AI enough, and obviously it's not real AI, it's all human derivative, but like this is where this person is going to need help. This is where, historically this person's needed help, but like they shouldn't be just auto ejecting people. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's yeah. Anyway, I don't think we're
human
too
machine
far
teaming. It's happening.
I don't think we're too far. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility of what you're talking about because, you're already building your AI agents in general AI or Gen AI.mil and that kind of stuff. Like the DOW is pushing that super hard. And what's great is that finally they're paying for it for us to be able to use these things. Now, what I would love to have happen is that my Grok and ChatGPT on my personal side could merge into that, but that's fine. I just got to build a separate thing on genai.mil, but which is fine. I'm doing it, but it's just, I think being able to, whether it's a card or a thumbprint or a login. Yeah. You log into the computer and that AI knows exactly what your preferences are what you have requested help with, what you don't need help with. And it also knows how you fly and the little idiosyncrasies that you have. And I think that could, and I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. I think that is already being considered and trying to figure out how to work that in, especially as you bring on the collaborative combat aircraft that is solely AI. Well, not solely, but majority AI with some pilot input. That thing's got to know how you fly.
Well, yeah. To me, I think that you could make this. Excuse me, jeez, dude, my voice is. I get excited. Like you could have like competitions with pilots. Like they're all given. Say you show up at weapons school, right? And you get like this AI that's a base AI, and everybody gets it. And you have all these sims and all these other things you got to do. Like part of the training should be who trained their AI the best to work with them to accomplish this, myriad of mission sets. You know what I mean? Like you can make it competitive, and you can see who's better at training AI. Because the future of pilots is so crazy. When like I my little brain has a hard time wrapping around all this other stuff. But like that's such a huge part of it. Like who gives the best inputs? Who is able to understand their limitations the best, and train their AI to take charge of certain things at certain times that make them more efficient. That's part of the competitive environment. I think that should be a part of flight school and all this other stuff. Is like give these people all their own AI agent and see who's really good at that. Like that should be part of day one training.
Yep. Yeah, I agree, and I think we're going there, right? With things like, I almost said the company's name, but we're not going to say which company. Like there's several of them out there that are doing great things, and so that's what we're trying to get after. What I can say is that for the weapons school, that's what we're trying to get after with an ALTR program, ALTR program. Trying to figure out the best way to incorporate that human with the machine, with the AI, and that kind of good stuff. It's pretty cool once we get it off the ground.
But like the last thing I'll say about it is like if we're just doing general AI stuff for the birds, I think that's a foul, because pilots, especially your good pilots, like anybody else that's really good at anything, they're very individualistic and they're highly competitive creatures. You got to make the AI work for them, in an environment that they understand and that they can compete with and all that other stuff. So I think there's a way. It actually, I get really excited about certain nerd things when I start talking about. So Trent's going to shut up now.
All right. Well, on that note, we appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, visit us over on whensready.com, and of course on operatortrainingsummit.com. We'll see you out there. See you.
Ask Aaron where he's been. Aaron, where are you?
Yeah, what's your problem, dude? God, it's not your podcast anymore.
He broke up with us.